Hey, what is going on, everybody? We are back again for day 2 in the ADHD entrepreneur and career community, talking about, for the month of November, building better habits to help you control your ADHD and leverage it as a strength moving forward. And today we are just going to be breaking down a little bit as to what is a habit. Why don't you start us off?
All right. Hi, guys. How you going? Okay, so a habit. Habit basically are things that we do almost without having to think about it. So, for example, you wake up in the morning, you go have a shower, brush your teeth, get ready for work. Usually you don't really think. You just do those things because that's what you just do every single morning. It can be also as simple as the whole putting the key behind the door. So it's things that you do that you repeat. Oh, wow. Okay.
You got this.
That you repeat. Yeah. And pretty much there's 3 parts to a habit. So that's the cue, the behavior or the action, and the reward. So the cue is what triggers you to, oh yeah, I've got to do that. And then obviously the behavior and the action is what you actually do. And the reward is what is that you get out of doing this repetitively. Oh, I got the word right now. So
Yeah. So and as you're saying, like those are the 3 aspects of what make up a habit. But habits aren't just some like magical thing that we kind of like we can go and hold as like a tool belt. There's something that are ingrained in our brain neurologically, and they're hardwired in, and they build up over time. And this is the whole point of a habit isn't to make our lives better, even though we can utilize them to do that. The whole point of a habit is to decrease the amount of energy our brain needs in order to do certain processes or undergo certain actions or take certain tasks. And that all happens down in the basal ganglia in our brain. And it's purely involved in the formation of habits. And it's in that place is where our habits are formed. And so I think understanding and appreciating kind of on a deeper level what really is a habit, it is on that surface level that cue, that action, that reward. But on the deeper level, it is neurological wiring that is only used as an evolutionary survival thing in order to increase our efficiency and increase our success at completing certain tasks that, way back when, in caveman days, that if you weren't efficient 100% of the time, then you increase the chance that you weren't going to make it to the next day. And, sorry, lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So, and these kind of things are, like these types of habits are things that we do almost every day, right?
and they are not necessarily all good. We know about the bad habits. And even though there's some habits that we have that are negative, we still get some reward from them. So either it is due to psychological reasons, there may be a psychological crutch like smoking cigarettes. So even though it's bad for you, you do get something out of it. So it's important also to understand what it is, the cue and the reward, and then we can work on the behavior. We can find new cues and wow, I'm doing well today. I need like 3 of these. Okay, we need to come up with a new meaning to what the reward that you're looking for, but through a different behavior. And then we'll give you guys throughout the week, we'll start giving you techniques that you can use for the cue, and then obviously always focusing on what the new reward is that you're looking for. So like Nick was saying, with the reprogramming, that's basically the things that you've done repetitively in the same context. You create its neuroplasticity, so you create the neural pathways in your brain, so then it's just there. You don't have to think about it. So when you are trying to look at changing habits, creating new ones, or substituting bad habits for new ones, it's important to understand that the same way that the habits that you currently have were formed, you have to use the same sort of structure and technique to form new ones, but this time around on purpose. So now you can sort of take control in a way, and do it on purpose. So you can sort of manipulate what
Hack it in
habits
there.
that you have. Heck, yeah.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. That's spot on. And I think a lot of people kind of don't even recognize that how we're already talking about how like a lot of our days are built around habits like that morning routine like you were talking about, and there this is a really simple, maybe a little boring example, but I think it gets the point across, right? So for me, whenever I'm pulling out of my driveway is an L shape, right? And there's other cars in this driveway that I gotta kind of get around. So I gotta get in the car, I turn the car on, I put my seatbelt on, usually put down my windows, put some music on, so I'm ready to go. Step on the brake, put the car in reverse, slowly start backing up, checking both my side mirrors and my rear view mirror to make sure I'm not hitting, the flower pots and the flower box to my right and left. Start turning the wheel and make sure I'm directly aligned with in between the my front lawn and the guy who parks on the left side, and do all the way up until I get to the sidewalk, and then I got to stop and check for people crossing by, cars coming by, and then decide, okay, now is the time to go and pull out. And I know it's a super simple process, but if you think about it, like how many,
It's full on.
yeah, it's nuts if you actually think about it and stop. Like the fact that we don't even think about doing this process because we've been doing it for so long. I know for me, the first time that I ever pulled out of a driveway, I was still in my learner's permit. My mom was in the car, and I started backing out. And there's a car coming down the street. My mom starts screaming. I'm already freaked out. That doesn't help. So I just jam on the accelerator, and I'm not going forward. So I'm like, wait, what the hell? So I realize I'm going backwards into the driveway
Oh
across the
no.
street, and I smashed my neighbor's car, right?
Oh no.
So it's I think if we take it for granted, like that was because I haven't done it yet. And now that you get older and you're driving every day, you're doing these simple things in your car all the time, that you don't realize that your brain is just going straight on autopilot and making all of these decisions without you consciously really having to think about it too much. And that really is the power of a habit. If we can we're going to start off slow by helping you guys start by observing and analyzing the habits you already do have. Because if we get an idea, like the example I kind of give it, or I think about, is like if you're going to go buy a business and take it over, you don't just come in having no idea what the business does and then start telling everyone what to do. You kind of got to know what's already happening, what's been happening beforehand, in order to make the best plan to move forward. And so that's what we're going to be starting off with, is how to observe and analyze and kind of document some of your habits you're taking note of over the span of a couple days. In order that you will be set up in order to kind of to be most likely set up for success when starting to figure out what is the right habit that's going to benefit me the most that I can start off with, and how am I going to go about creating that new habit. Is it going to be paired amongst another habit? Is it going to be replacing an older bad habit? And that whole process, we're going to be kind of walking you guys through that. So,
Yep.
habits are super powerful. They are made up of a cue and action, and a reward. These are things that are hardwired neurologically in our brains. They are things that we probably take for granted, and we're doing them all day long. So if we can learn to hack into them and kind of rewire our brains in that regard, we're going to be able to start making some serious changes in our lives, in the way we act, and the way we think, and our mindset, and start building a little bit of confidence too. Because a lot of us with ADHD, we struggle with that. The amount of times I just don't know how to get to certain places that I've lived near my whole life because my brain just doesn't work that way. And it gets frustrating. It makes me feel bad about myself a little bit. But, we have to realize once we start taking these steps that, wait, no, if I can do this, then why can't I do the next thing that I want to achieve, or the next thing? So this is something that's going to be directly beneficial to you, and something that helps you kind of start building your confidence a little bit and realizing that you have a lot more potential than you probably realize. You are more than capable, and you are enough to succeed and achieve the things that you set out for. So habits, man. It's cool
Habits.
shit.
Yeah. Because then once you get the hang of this, that's when you can, like when you set your goals and you have an action plan, you need to have some consistency, which is so hard for us to be consistent with anything. But
Preach.
so it's similar. Yeah, it's similar to like goal setting and putting an action plan and being able to follow through with the step by step. Yeah, so it's just about practicing consistency in being able to choose where you're going to put the energy into the things that you want to achieve, into the things that are going to benefit you and move you forward. So we're starting with the habits, but this takes a whole big scale and complexity in your success and for your business and personal life and managing ADHD and yeah, gaining that confidence.
Yep, all of the above.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, it has been real. We will be back in I think it's in 2 days, so not tomorrow, the
Yep.
next day to going live, but there'll be more posts kind of going in the group, some content, some asking you guys some questions, things like that tomorrow. So feel free to check that out, engage in it. If you like what you heard about in this video, if you're kind of getting excited about it, you're getting some ideas, post them down there, share it out. Let me know what you think. We'd love to kind of see what you guys are thinking about. So until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Wednesday? Yeah, I think so.
Your Wednesday? What's today?
No, it'd be my Thursday. Yeah. 2 days. We'll just leave it at that.
In 2 days, yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks for being here.